So,
Sweet. Yeah, because I mean, if it sounds like a phone call, that's exactly what
which
I kind
well,
of want.
it
You know,
sounds better than when we used tin cans and a piece of string over Google.
dude, that shit. Times, man. You start from the bottom.
Let's talk. You pick which one you want. Which one you want to chat about first?
Um, it's a little early still. I mean, but I did say we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about March Madness coming up. Obviously, the teams haven't been picked yet. But looking at the rankings rather, I pointed out to you the other day, like that St. John's U at number 7. They could be a force to be reckoned with, and obviously Auburn's only lost like what 3 games this year.
I mean, yeah,
So,
the SEC's been
but
dominating.
them Cinderella stories, them sleeper teams. So hopefully I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. Hell, I might do a bracket that's all 16s
Just
winning
in
that
case.
first round. Just throw it out there.
I mean, I so full disclosure. So obviously, I do like 15 or 20 brackets or something, and some of them are like autofill. And normally, I have one like I do one, Kai will do one, Nate will do one. I'm supposed to have like 20, 25 brackets across everybody, but normally one of them is like the big upsets. So while I may hit one or two of those upsets, they never actually all happen. But I think the fun thing is always like who is going to be that 13 or maybe 12 or higher seed that's going to make that, oh, they won the first 3 games. Like they're looking
Hmm.
dangerous.
Yeah,
And it's always going to be some like North Dakota State or Harvard or like somebody you don't expect to do it.
exactly.
I did see like I know the ASUN at least started their conference tournament yesterday. I want to say so. Central Arkansas beat Stetson, but it's like who are these? Who are these teams going to be? Like we might not even know right now who these teams are. That's going to end up making the deepest run.
Right, right. That dance is gonna come out. We're gonna be like, who's that? And that always happens. And that who's that is like, oh shit, that's who that is.
I'm trying to think. So it was Kentucky lost a couple years ago, right? That was the 116 game or the
Hmm.
215. Um, I'm trying to remember who were the other. Loyola Chicago was a big one. These other like crazy runs from these deep seated teams, but yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't know if St. John's is too much of a surprise, but I do think it's a cool story. Because what they're are they what conference are they playing in right now?
Oh, I'm jumping the queues here. Hold on, let me get that for you.
Because they got who's coaching out there? Patino's, right? Patino's up there this year.
Standings, all conferences. Where's St. John's? Excuse me. Big East.
Ooh,
All right. Am I reading that right? Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know, man. I think this is Patino's. I think this is his first year there too. So it's kind of cool to turn a program around in year one. But the thing with like transfers and everything else now, you're a big name coach that comes in. If you get a couple good players from these other schools to switch over to you, like there's no reason you can't have one good year.
Right. And, basketball, a little different. Football's only 5 on the court. Granted, you're rotating, but you get one dominant guy, and all of a sudden you've got a huge edge. And so, I mean, these guys have been playing out. I might catch a bracket with these guys winning, but we'll have to see how it pans out.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that and then like uh, Duke's good every year. Um, I know they have Cooper Flag as well, who's supposedly going to be the number one pick, or I'm pretty sure he's going to be the number one pick. But Florida's having a good year. Auburn's having a good year. Alabama was top five for a bit,
They did.
and I think they lost to Tennessee. I want to say 2 nights ago, but
They Yeah, they dropped one. close.
Okay.
Last few days ago, late last weekend.
Hmm. But yeah, I don't. And these SECs, these football schools is what I like to call them, coming in and kind of taking over basketball is a little interesting to me.
And I don't know if we can qualify Florida State as a football school,
Not after last season, no.
but that's definitely something we've missed the dance last few years. So I don't know. SEC just got something different. I'll give it to them on that.
And who knows? Next year might be the Mountain West or the Big Ten or whoever the conference is going to be, especially with all these guys that end up going pro. But yeah, I don't know. March Madness is always a fun time. It's always a good, it's always a good excuse, cough cough, to put some games on at 11 a.m. Uh, on a Thursday and get your weekend started off right.
Oh, I agree. Work from home, crack a beer. For I don't work at home, so I can say that. But yeah, no, it's excitement, and these kids out there, something. Not that in the NBA and the NFL they don't play with heart, but there's something about the heart of a college basketball game, college football game that just goes unmatched to me.
I'm trying to. I'm gonna totally blank on the name. That team that ended up winning a couple games last year, and then they had that the white guy that was that sharpshooting the 3-pointer.
Dude, I am searching up and down this bracket. I got it pulled up from 24, and I don't remember who that team was, but I remember watching every game like, oh, this kid's gonna go off.
Oh
Like,
my god! And he's like an accountant or something. Like he doesn't even play basketball right now. But I just remember him lighting teams up, and you knew he was gonna shoot the three. But I think the cool stories are like this guy who nobody's ever heard of, who like it doesn't he's not even famous on their campus, is gonna go on like national TV and beat a top four team by
right.
scoring 25. I do think like that's a little bit of the magic of college sports that you don't get in the pros. Like you know who's gonna win in a pro game more often than not.
I would agree. I mean, obviously anybody can beat anybody on any given day, but for the most part, you see the teams and you're like, all right, this is, I don't want to watch the Jets and the Eagles. Like, I'm not turning that on.
Yeah, no offense taken at all.
Yeah, that wasn't targeted.
I'm trying to see here. Was it the guy? Oh boy.
I'm gonna be searching for this all night.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I might be searching this for this all night too. I don't think it was Grand Canyon though. That was a. Oh, it was Oakland. It was, and I'll tell you in a second what his name was.
Yeah, Oakland lit up
Jack
Kentucky.
Golke. Oh, and I stand corrected. He plays in the G League, so he's still playing.
Oh, bet. Might be an accountant on side.
But I will say, like he was. If you had a like some sort of
Oh, wow.
award that you could give out, like most unexpected All Star, or not necessarily MVP, because again these teams aren't going to win the whole thing, but the one guy who's everyone's going to know the name of after like the first or second weekend, he would have been it. I mean, you had everybody chanting his name, and
That
nobody had heard
Kentucky
of him
game.
before.
Oh man, sorry. That Kentucky game, he put up 20 shots.
That's
All 20 of
crazy.
them. All 20 of them are three pointers.
That's crazy in a college game.
10 for 20 from three.
That's nuts.
What are you supposed to do?
That's Steph Curry numbers. What do you? I don't. What?
Yeah. What are you supposed to do? This kid's out here chucking up 23s and he's hitting 50% of them.
And I
Yeah, you're
guarantee
gonna lose
you,
that game.
if he like had gone to Kentucky, he probably isn't even playing in that game. Like he's probably like coming off the bench, playing 5 or 6 minutes.
You know what's hilarious? He was coming off the bench that game for Oakland.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I had forgotten about that.
From the bench, 36 minutes. So he had the second most minutes on the team, but 10 for 20 from the field.
I
with
mean,
2 free throws.
if he's hot, you can't take him out.
Honestly, yeah.
Jeez,
Oh man.
that's why they call it madness. But yeah, that is I'm excited. I think brackets. I think the selection show is like the 17th or the 16th of March, and then they'll start up after that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they'll jump right into the first four.
And then yeah, by then we'll already have who's the
Who's the
favorite and who are
favorite?
the one seeds, and but still got some conference tournaments to get through.
Looks like March 16th, Sunday, 6 p.m.
Okay, 16th. There you go.
I know what I'm doing.
I'll
Locking in. I'm off at 5. I'll be watching it. Perfect timing.
have my first bracket done by dinner time. There you go.
I'll have my first bracket done by 6:01.
Done.
After the show. Give me 5 minutes. I'm throwing one together.
Yeah, Oakland versus St. John's in the national championship game.
Exactly. Right there.
St. John's by a billion. So, what else you got?
Well, I'm gonna transition here into the NFL and on a particular rookie, Jayden Daniels, who in my opinion is him. I don't know how you feel,
Oh, absolutely.
but that guy, and I don't like his numbers out of LSU were good, but I don't think really anyone expected that for him to go to Washington and to lose to the Super Bowl champions in the conference championship game. I don't think anyone had that in the cards.
No, I don't think so either. No, I think it was a pleasant surprise though.
Yeah, which love that for him. Shout out to the Eagles bringing it home. They were just a better team, and honestly, like the scoreboard said, they got blown out in that conference championship game. It was really just the second half.
Sure.
And my dad used to say, anybody can stick with anybody for a half. Once you get into that halftime, make adjustments, then you see, the better team will come out and win. But I think with this most recent trade action they got going on, Debo Samuel to the Commanders, I, I think we see Jayden Daniels and this guy, we're going to keep our, knock on wood, healthy season, um, right back in the same position they were this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason for them not to, right? I think that so the funny story, so with the story with Jayden Daniels and we go way back. We go way back to his seniors, whatever his last year was at LSU. And I remember watching a game. It was LSU Alabama. And I remember just being like or maybe it was LSU USC. I don't know, some high scoring game back and forth, and he's just like slinging the ball around and he's rushing for a ton of yards. But that to me, like that will always translate well. And you hear like especially at the combine that just happened, oh, we want, quarterbacks that are NFL ready, that are pocket presence, and the guys that are super successful right now are Jalen Hurts who can run, Lamar who can run, Josh Allen who can run. These guys who are mobile quarterbacks. And I think the thing like that proves it. No, I mean Hurts goes wins Super Bowl. Mahomes, who is I would argue pretty mobile, especially in the playoffs, goes and wins it. But Jaden Daniels, dude can run for 100 yards a game if he wanted to.
Easy. And I'm pretty sure, led his team in rushing yards in that conference championship game.
I believe that.
I'm pretty sure he led his team in rushing yards. Um, and I don't think their running backs had more than 100 yards rushing, which goes to say, I mean, that Eagles D line is nasty. Like, I don't want to even fathom what being in the trenches with those cats is like. But um, yeah, he's got it all. I mean, he's got an arm. We saw that Chicago blunder by their
Yeah.
cornerback
Yeah,
or their
watch. Yeah.
safety.
That should have been a win for them.
He slung that. I mean, far as hell. He's got an arm. He's got the legs. And I think giving them this, one more weapon. And Debo might not be the best receiver in the league, but you're certainly happy he's on your fantasy team.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, what Scary Terry is a I don't maybe he's not a one, but he's a good wide receiver. maybe I would say borderline great wide receiver, at least from the end of last year. But now you're just adding another weapon for him, like you said. You're adding somebody who can take the short throws and go for distance. You're adding somebody who can potentially open up the top end of your field. I, it makes a lot of sense to me. The issue that I have as being a Jets fan, you're telling me that you could get Debo for a fifth round pick? Like, why is every single team in the country not on top of that?
I have no idea. That might as well just sent him to him for free.
I mean, yeah, unless it, like I said, unless it's like he knew he wanted to go there, or he had a no trade clause, or something, or his medical records. I don't know. But to me, like if I'm going to get a player of that caliber who, at his best, is an All Pro, or at least somebody who could be a one or a two for your team, yeah, I'll do that deal all day.
Yeah, any day.
But yeah, Washington, they look good. As much as I think that Philly could do it again, and they could be in the same spot just because they were dominant, Washington could give them a run this year.
I think, if we see that same matchup, you know, maybe they don't get him in the end, the Commanders that is, but I know for a fact that game's going fourth quarter, not not second half.
I mean, hell, this game could have gone fourth quarter if not for those turnovers.
I yeah. So,
You take some of those fumbles away, all of a sudden that's a one or maybe a two possession game going late, and then at that point, who knows?
I mean, and that's true. You could also rewind back to Philly's first play and maybe say it was over after that.
Yeah, well,
Because
Saquon likes
I'm
to do
not
that.
I'm not kidding. He started running. I sipped a beer and I was like, yeah, GG's, and set the beer down after that. Because
I did not turn the game on yet, and all of a sudden there's 14 minutes left and it's 7-0. So
yeah, it was something else.
I don't know. I again my not to get too much into Jets talk, but I wish my team could do that. Pick up a QB that's yes high in the draft and just see where he takes you. I mean, you look at Cam Ward's probably the top. What? He's probably locked into a top five pick,
I would have to say so.
especially
Um,
with Abdul Carter with the foot injury. But he's probably going to end up. Tennessee's got the one. Maybe he goes to the Giants. I don't think he can. I don't think he's going to fall past two or three. And then Shadur's your other pick. But do you trust him with a number four pick to lead your franchise? I don't know.
I got mixed feelings about Shador. I'm a fan. Let me say that first.
Sure.
I'm not, I'm here for it. I want to see him do great things, but I just feel like I kind of expected a little bit more out of that Colorado squad. I don't know if I just had higher expectations or what, but I feel like a lot of times those games just were shootouts,
Yeah,
which is,
absolutely.
but can you win the close ones? And because the NFL, you're not really going to have any shootouts like that. The defense is going to lock you down. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure he's got his dad's grit and determination, but I'm curious to see how, especially with Cam Ward in there too. I'm curious to see what their careers look like developing. Kind of together, both coming into the league at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
Obviously,
I'm all for good quarterbacks in the league, right? Make the league better.
let's see. I'm looking at New England at 4, Giants at 3.
I would say New England's probably going to stick with Drake May. So Giants obviously need a QB, so they're taking somebody. Who's at two? Las Vegas.
Cleveland,
Oh,
Cleveland,
Cleveland.
who also needs a QB.
Well, everybody thinks they need a QB except for Cleveland.
Dude, I was upset. I went up to the Cleveland played in Cincinnati, so my family got a tailgate together and we went to that game. And I was gonna get to see Jameis. And they benched him like 6 days before.
who uh who ended up playing?
I I couldn't even tell you. Hold on. It was it a hyphenated last name? Hold on.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
sounding
yeah, yeah.
ignorant.
Nope, I know who you're thinking of.
Thompson, yeah. Thompson Robinson. DTR.
DTR, yeah.
DTR who played well. He
Yeah,
played
but that's
well.
not. You don't get the same excitement factor like getting to watch Jameis, especially being an FSU grad.
Right. I was stoked. I was like, dang, I ain't seen Jameis
Since chemistry
live
class.
since Foursquare at the dance marathon for all children for the Children's Miracle Network.
No, man, Cleveland's in some. I could talk 3 hours on how in trouble Cleveland is, but they're a mess, especially with all that dead cap money. And what do you do? And now Miles Garrett wants to leave. That whole just burn the franchise, move him to any other city, just rebrand at this point. They don't realize how
Where,
good they had it.
pick a spot.
Any
Where'd
spot,
you
throw
move him?
throw a dart on the map,
Throw a dart up. Blindfold? No blindfold?
spin them around a couple times, see how it goes. London, Mexico City, maybe Vegas needs a second team.
Toronto? Canada?
Maybe.
Loop them in? Get them even more?
I don't know. I don't. Are they into American football? I don't even know. It's not like we have any games in Canada.
That's true. I guess England would be a better spot in that regard.
Yeah, but imagine that travel. I know they were talking about moving the Jags there for a little bit. Can you imagine that travel of teams just having? Oh God, we got the Jags this year. We got to go to London for 2 weeks of our season.
Imagine home field advantage in the playoffs.
Dude, imagine just home field advantage for the regular season.
Honestly, you throw them in one of them soccer stadiums.
That's where they've been playing them. I mean, Wembley or Tottenham Stadium. I know that I think Germany's getting a game this year, or I know they had one last couple of years, but I saw Germany's going. I also saw. I think they're going back to Brazil again. But
Hell yeah,
it's games all
that's
over the
awesome.
place, man. I think it's cool just because it's a new like fan base. Like imagine if you're a kid in Brazil and you get to see Saquon for the first time. You're like, oh, I'm an Eagles fan for life right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't even care who else is in the league. So I don't know. As much as I want to be so invested in the NFL, and I think there's a lot of cool guys that are in the league right now or potentially going to be in the league, but until my team turns it around, I'm only watching the important ones.
Yeah. No, it's hard to invest there. I'd given up hope on the Bengals, and then they win streak at the end, but just miss it because a couple, head-to-head technicalities in the conference and stuff. So that was upsetting. But
It was that loss to New England that killed you.
hmm
Because yeah, you pick that up, you squeak in as a wild card. Well, I mean, once you get to the playoffs, you never know.
right. Once you get the playoffs, your money. You just got to win the next game.
Oh yeah, bets are off.
One more game.
Damn. Well, there's always next year. Now you get to
There's always next year. I've
you
been
get.
saying about the Reds forever.
Well, that's actually true for the Reds. Every year is next year for the Reds. But the Reds are fun though. The Reds have like young guys. It's fun baseball. Do I think they're gonna win? Probably not. But it's fun.
No, I agree. It's great. Ellie De La Cruz,
Oof,
he's an act to
so much.
watch.
Yeah.
Just an
Electric.
anomaly. Yeah, just an anomaly to watch, which is awesome. So I love it for that. The games are still hella fun. So
Wait, they gotta do something because if you don't win, you still gotta make it a good experience.
yeah, yeah. I almost got banned because the two games I went in like 23, they lost. So my family was like, "All right, you're done.
you, we are revoking your right to go to the game.
No more Reds games." Yeah.
I think that's hilarious. Well, I just This year we went Jets Jags, and this was the first ever time I saw the Jets win in person.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 0 for 3.
Okay, that's not horrible.
Yeah, for football games though.
It's tough, but
Every every other team I've seen, oh, except for the Rangers. Rangers, I'm 0 and 1. That was Lightning.
sorry about your loss, man. You picked the
Hey,
wrong squad that time.
that's all right.
Picked the wrong squad
I
that
got out of
time.
there
The
in
Lightning
time.
down here. I got out of there in time. The Lightning down here is something else.
Left just before that 4 goal barrage at the end. So that's okay. Hey, when I left, we were up, so I'm counting that as a win. So, speaking of superstars, let's talk about this Jimmy Butler thing.
Oh man, Jimmy Butler. What? Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know, my man's getting sued because he left damages in his home in Miami after the trade to Golden State, which I have a couple questions about. But like apparently he had also changed the locks in his home to not let maintenance in, which
Weird behavior.
uh, is it though? Like
I mean,
I don't.
you're moving. You know, you got traded. You're not staying in Miami.
That's fair, and I'm sure that the changing of the locks didn't happen at the same time. I'm sure the changing of the locks was like a while ago.
We can hope so. Yeah.
Maybe. At least I was hoping so. But, like it could have been literally the same day. Oh, I got traded, bet. Locksmith, come through. Um, which would be hilarious. But like it said in there something about not letting maintenance in, which I'll be honest, I live in an apartment. I don't like maintenance having access. I hate it. It's weird. I don't want people in here when I'm not in here. So I get that. Plus you're a multi-million dollar athlete. You don't want people in around your stuff stealing it.
Yeah, I
You
think
know.
that's a fair reason. That's
Yeah.
again, maybe you don't want to
So
share information of where you live and whatnot.
right. That much I get, but like damages had to do with like not taking care of the AC, not taking care of the pool. And I was literally just thinking about like, man, if I get a house with a pool one day, that's gonna suck to take care of. But you can't just let it sit.
No.
Or hire someone to come clean it for you.
Yeah, I think the important detail is he's worth what, $150 million. Like, dude, you can afford to take care of your pool.
Right. Go to hit up the phone book ad and
A
or Craigslist.
little pinch a penny. Come on. I mean,
Yeah, something. You can go to the coffee shop and get a little tab to pull off a wall with somebody's phone number who does house cleaning. But all that aside, I think it's a not necessarily a funny situation for him, but it did get me thinking. Like, man, big picture, athletes that get traded, they're just inventory. You know,
oh, for sure.
I'm package this up, send it over here to this city, so that way this store, this team can use it. And so, especially the Luca one, most recent, which I believe you touched on last time, but um, that's got to be tough. You're locked in a spot. You got most, if not all, your belongings there, and then you get traded, and you got a game in 4 days, or practice in 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, you want to add another wrinkle like wives, girlfriends, kids. It's like them being enrolled in school, or what if you have family that move nearby? Like, there's so many things that go into that. Now, what I do know is a lot of times, and I don't know specifically in this case, but like you will have like a rep from the team that'll reach out and help. Whether that's like help you with a car, help you with where to move to, or like where your girlfriend or wife can like find work at, or whatever. Like little things like that. Sometimes the team will assist you in those things because you're brand new, but still, like that's such a big ask to be dropped into a new spot and be like, hey, yeah, you got work tomorrow. Like you got to show up in practice, or you got a game.
Yeah, shoot around 9 a.m. We'll see you there.
But no, I don't know. I mean, I do think that I don't remember what the story was. It was one of these guys that same thing got traded, and sometimes they just leave the family in the old city. So then you just go rent a one bedroom apartment or a studio or whatever, go there for work, finish out the season, and your family's still kind of uninterrupted with whatever situation they had going on. But I don't know if there's a right answer. I mean, our time as professional athletes is past, but
Yeah, I'm a little bit retired in that regard. I don't have to deal with these quarrels here.
can't say we're going to run into that situation ourselves. But it sounds like a mess.
Yeah, and who knows? We'll see how that plays out. Um, like we said, $1 million athlete has the money for it, but bro, what are you doing?
Maybe it was one last like middle finger to Miami. I don't know. That was such a weird situation with him leaving too.
Yeah, Miami saying we're not going to trade you, and then suspending him for a few games because he was like not showing up to practice or shoot around and stuff, and acting a fool in the games, and then so it's like you're not going to trade him, you're going to suspend him, so you're going to pay him to do nothing.
Yeah, right. And then
What are you?
so
What are you doing? Just get rid of him. He wants to leave. Let him go.
yeah, I think that's a little crazy, but clearly it's working out for both teams, right? I mean, Warriors are on a tear, uh, climbing up the playoffs. I think they only have one, maybe two losses since they picked him up.
I
Um,
think there's 7 in the West right now.
okay, and West is looking good too. I mean, like I said,
6 in the West. Pardon me.
I know I touched briefly with the Luca stuff, but the Lakers look good too.
The Lakers. I mean, you're not going to be able to stop the Lakers, and we see this historically on LeBron teams, right? Like play part of the season, get to the trade deadline, make a couple roster swaps, and all of a sudden, now that team's in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I think that
Or Cleveland Eastern Conference Finals, rather.
they're gonna. I think they're gonna make a deep run. Now, I think the issue is if you're LA and you don't win, right? I mean, Oklahoma City looks fantastic. Denver's up there now too. They're always good in the playoffs. Like if you don't win with Luca, what's the plan next year? Right? Are you able to re-sign him? Can you convince him to stay? Because if he signs there for another let's say 5 or 6 years, I think at some point they're making the finals in that 5 to 6 year run.
I mean, I would argue they're winning it 2, maybe 3 times, if that's what we're talking about.
Not one,
Depending
not
on
two, not three.
Le- LeBron's longevity, right? Everybody was thinking, oh, he's going to play just long enough to play with his son. Now his son's in the league,
Kind of in the league.
kind of. He's there. He's there. They've played a couple games. They've done that. How much longer does he got? Because I mean, his numbers don't say he doesn't have any longer. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was just there was just ESPN or NBC or somebody else who did the sports. Somebody put a side by side of the last 2 months since he turned 40 compared to his MVP 2012-2013 season with Miami. He's got higher points now, higher 3 point percentage, higher rebounds, higher assists compared to his MVP winning season when he was clearly the best player on the planet. So it's like, do do we know that aging affects him? Will he slow down? I don't know.
At this rate, no, no. Man takes care of his body.
Inconclusive, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I don't know. And it's one of those things like he's won a title in every place he's been, and I think personally, I think Luca is the most high profile teammate he's ever had. I don't want to say skilled. I mean Kyrie with a basketball is different gravy, but
yeah.
Luca can do things as a teammate that he didn't have anybody in the past that could do that. So does he even need to be the number one guy anymore? Right? Let Luca just run the team, and he gets to kind of extend his career by being the number two.
Yeah. And being, I don't want to start any arguments here, but being the number one basketball player, I'm going to say in the world right now, in my opinion, just based off everything you just said, he's won a title on every team he's been on, highest stats, like he's the best. We can't say he's not. As your number two
Yeah,
guy,
it
like
does. It changes the team for sure.
goodness.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be. I think this is one of those good years. Like, I genuinely don't know who's going to win the title. I think Oklahoma City could make a run. Cleveland looks really good. Boston every year, of course, but this is one of those years. Like, it should be fireworks regardless.
Yes,
But
absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking at this. OKC's one in the West.
oh yeah, they might finish with the best record overall.
One in the East is Cleveland,
Yes.
actually. Hmm. No, this is going to be a hell of a run to June for these teams, and we'll see how these last streak. I believe mid-April is the last regular season games.
Yeah, and the All Star break isn't. It's funny. The All Star break isn't actually like a halfway point. It's more like a 2/3 point. So I think teams have something like 20, 25, between 25 and 30 games left. But we're getting to that point of who are the serious teams that are competing. I mean, the Knicks are the 3 seed in the East, and I don't think they have a shot to make it to the finals.
Not a shot.
No, I don't like. I not a shot because as good as they are and beating up everybody else, they will not beat Cleveland or Boston in a 5 or 7 game series.
Only time will tell, right?
Yeah, I, I mean, I would argue if you moved. Again, I could talk all night about this. If you moved every sport to a March Madness single elimination game, chaos everywhere, chaos everywhere. Because I don't care who the better team is. You have one good night, one good game, all of a sudden.
Yeah. One what? Gorky?
Yeah, yeah,
One 10 for 20 for three night,
that's
and
all you need.
yeah,
Little 56 piece from Steph. Just one
hmm,
game.
done.
Man, this was fun, dude. I need to get you here more often.
Hell yeah, I'm always down to join. Bring some ideas. I'll tell you what I really wanted to talk about, but there's not anything that I'm into that's currently doing any esports. But um, Smite 2 beta's out,
Ooh,
and they did the season 10, the final world championships for Smite last January, so 24. This past January, they just did the opening founder series for Smite 2, and it was kind of like an asterisk World Championships. But esports is pending on that, so we'll see if that comes back around. And that's kind of my bread and butter, at least. I'm into the football and the basketball, and I do watch them, but I'll be pumping out stats like I'm on Moneyball,
we'll have to fly you out and have you live on the scene.
literally.
Turrel reporting live.
Mm-hmm. Reporting live from Lord, I don't know where they played. It was
Wherever.
Arlington and Dallas. I don't remember the name of the venue in Vegas. I didn't go to that one.
MGM Grand, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you're gambling on the side. That'll be a fun one. No, I will have to get you back on after we do the brackets because that'll be. We'll have to actually see if you're going to pick St. John's and stick with that.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna have a bracket with St. John's.
I believe it. We'll have
I'm
to.
booking it.
Well, I'm gonna have you. I'll have you submit like one total bracket and see.
Okay. All right.
You can have as many on the side as you want with St. John's, but I,
But
I
you
want to
want
see
you
the
want my
the legit
hey,
one,
this is my bracket that's gonna win. I'll give you that one.
and then yeah, we'll go from there. We'll have to compare.
Okay.
Maybe I'll even see if Whites will do one with us.
Hell yeah. Get
Awesome.
the old gang back together.
The Three Musketeers, the compadres. So, no, this was fun. Though. This was, I mean, seamless, smooth.
I
So
agree. We'll be looking forward to seeing you on this in the future.
hell yeah.